All right. What is going on, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another live stream from the Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur YouTube channel. First and foremost, if you're new to the channel and looking to join an awesome community of like-minded people looking to make some money in the stock market, as well as money online in general, where we sell on Amazon, eBay, all that good stuff, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below and checking out our Discord group chat. That's down in the description box. There's a little over 60 of us in there. It's just awesome to communicate with a bunch of like-minded people on a day-to-day, hour-by-hour basis, especially when it comes to trading stocks. We throw a bunch of ideas off one another in that group. I know a few of you all mess around with some SPY options. If you all end up tuning in, I'd love to hear about that in the chat, and I'll probably try to bring it up again in a few minutes once we get a few of you tuning in, because I know we just went live, so it's going to take a little bit for YouTube to send those notifications out. But overall, very kind of crazy day in the market. The market was down quite a bit, then it was up a little, and right now you can see SPY unched. I believe the Dow Jones, I believe pretty much everything. NASDAQ, I think, is the most up right now, about 0.2%. But market overall flat. Oil flat. Just a crazy day. You can see oil popped up to over $57 today. We did not trade oil. As I mentioned, I wasn't really going to do too much in forms of trading, but I will let you guys know a couple positions I took. One that's playing out, one that's definitely not playing out within Tesla and Salesforce. Those of you in Discord know that I took these positions yesterday, and yeah, one of them's actually doing not too bad, and the other one's doing definitely not good, to say the least. But let's just take a look at SPY to start the day, because we can see overall just a lot of choppy action early on this morning, and market just really has not been able to pick a direction today. Pretty much just hanging right around unch. I personally wanted to see the market kind of down today because I still believe overall the market is actually primed up to take a move downward. When we look at our, I believe it's a one year one day chart shows we're pretty overbought right now. It looks like it's getting ready to roll over short term. Like you can see on our SMA, it's probably going to pull back to the low to mid 270s. So I kind of wanted to see it do that today, in all honesty. Maybe not quite as low as like 274, but I wanted to see if we pull back to around 275, 276 today, a good little, 2 to 3 probably % drop. That would have been enough for me to be happy and move on. It's probably going to move into next week before we actually take a leg down. But overall, we got rejected again whenever we got above 280. So I'm definitely short term a little bit bearish on the market. I'm not bearish as in thinking we're having a correction or anything, but I see SPY probably coming down to the low to mid 270s this week. Not this week, like this upcoming week, the next trading week. But I really wish it would have happened today. But today was pretty much kind of an unch day. Not really a lot in the terms of news events going on to really act as a catalyst for one way or the other within the market. There are a few stocks out there that have been pretty decent movers, such as Tesla. I believe there were some other ones as well, but I know Tesla and Salesforce, one that I got into overnight. Well, not overnight, but after hours yesterday, a little bit after our stream, I hopped in some Salesforce. Really, Tesla, I don't know. I got in at a bad time, in all honesty. We were kind of just moving right around 285 to 286. We can take a look at my account overall on the day. Down a little bit, nothing like crazy or anything. Apparently we were actually up briefly. Wish I had seen that. But yeah, Tesla, we got in at a horrible price point, in all honesty. I'm pretty much considering just cutting a small loss. Not at this moment at down 3%, but if this thing can rally over the last into the after hour session, if it can rally to around 280, I almost sold when this was at 283. At this point, it would have been, I believe, somewhere around 0.5% to 1% loss. That was actually probably pretty close to when, yeah, we were green on the day. I saw it when it was around 282, and I was considering just cutting the loss and then writing CRM out. Either way, I'm probably going to end up selling one, if not both of these positions over the next 24 hours. That way I can just put the money to work, because I don't want to be in Tesla long term or anything. And it being in the 270s, it's not necessarily worrying. We know 270s, just pull up the 180-day chart. We know the 270s are not like something that's uncommon, but whenever this thing comes into the 270s, it tends to get short-term a little bearish. This chart looks almost identical to the 180-day chart from about a year ago. We had this downward pattern with the support overall right around 270 to 275. I personally thought it was going to bounce right around 280 to 285. That's why I hopped in when I did, because obviously Robinhood trading closes at 5 p.m. Central Time. So I wanted to get in because I did think overall it would come down to like 280-ish overnight. It did come down to 282. We can look overall at the one-day chart. You can see it came down to 182 and it bounced, and it was encouraging to see that bounce this morning. But then right around the beginning of the market day, everything popped and then everything sold off into the day. Not just Tesla, but various stocks. CRM kind of did the same thing. Robinhood messed me up big time. Didn't fill my order. I put an order in at $16.50 in the pre-market. Somehow it managed to not get filled, even though this thing went above $16.50 multiple times for longer periods than just a minute or so. Didn't get filled, and ultimately just wrote it out ever since. 160.50 is what I mean when I say 60.50. 160.50 is where I was trying to get filled. It's a huge price difference, obviously, because from where we're at right now, right around 157, it's literally, as you can see, about a 2 to 2.5% difference, which would literally double my profit, I believe, because my profit right now on this trade is roughly, I think, around 2%. Yeah, 2.25. So it would literally double the profit from where we're at right now, right around 157. So I was up on this trade overall. It won't show. I thought it would show the return if I adjusted it. But I was up at one point about 5% on that trade, and it didn't get filled. So that was pretty frustrating. I was trying to just get in and out of that trade overnight, kind of like I did with the SQ trade. But if worse comes to worse, I'm pretty bullish. I'm more bullish on CRM than I am Tesla, in all honesty. That's why I'm wanting to get out of Tesla sometime today, if possible, at the absolute latest tomorrow. Tesla is just one of those stocks I just don't like to hold overnight. Like I said, I got in yesterday simply because I liked how we bounced right around 280, and then we were hovering around 285. So I was like, okay, I was thinking in my head overnight this is probably going to test around 280 again, which it did. It tested 282-ish overnight right around 5:36 a.m. Central Time, and then it bounced, and then it kind of just continued to slide throughout the morning. So yeah, Tesla's just a crazy stock to trade, needless to say. Can't really get a good read on it from our 1 hour chart. Anything I can't get a great read on the 1 hour chart, I just generally do not like to hold long term. If I'm going to trade it, I want to be in and out of it overnight, like buy in the after hours and then sell the next day if everything goes decent. So yeah, Tesla's really what's kind of holding us down a little bit right now. But I mean, I still can't really complain, being as much as I'm down on the Tesla position, to only be down around not even a whole percent on the account. Can't complain too much. I mean, we're down, what, a little over 3% right now. So down $18 on that position. And really, it's just the CRM position that's keeping us afloat right now. And I mean, that's not even, Salesforce isn't even doing that good. It's still down 1% on the day. I expected it to start out kind of like a red to green kind of day, but let's pull CRM up so we can look at that chart real quick. CRM had dropped overnight, after hours yesterday on the earnings. Some people didn't like the guidance. It's whatever. I overall just look at the technicals, and from a technical standpoint, like with earnings and everything, the outlook for the year with this company, it looks pretty bullish, at least over the next few weeks. I mean, obviously that's going to be a good trade. So my target sell was actually somewhere around 160 to begin with. Like I said, tried to sell it at 160.50. I probably should have just settled for set a limit at 160.25. I probably definitely would have got filled. But I was at work at that time, so I wasn't able to just sit there and mess around with my limit orders. I just set the limit at 16.50 because I'd seen it hit that multiple times throughout the morning, and it just didn't get filled because, I mean, it's Robinhood. You can't really expect the good prices on Robinhood. But overall, I mean, still pretty bullish on the stock overall. Our RSI is looking pretty good on our 1 hour chart. We're having quite a bit of trouble right around this 157.50 mark. You can tell that's going to be a little bit of resistance on our 20-day chart. I didn't pay attention to the 180-day. What I did like is that on our 180-day, you can see we just barely touched this SMA. The SMA on our 180-day chart, we just barely touched it, bam, and it pulled right back above it. So another bullish signal, and our 180-day MACD shows the selling should be starting to wear off before long. So again, pretty bullish overall. But like I said, right around 157.50, we're going to have quite a bit of resistance. Once we can break through that, I think we're heading on back up to 160 probably within the next trading session. I won't mind holding this maybe a couple days if I have to. I would love to be able to sell this by Thursday or Friday though, especially once I have another day trade open back up on Friday. I do have a day trade opening back up tomorrow. I did a DWT trade on Wednesday, which was a waste of a day trade. It only made me about 1 to 2% profit, but made me some profit at least, right? So I'm looking to get out of both of these relatively soon. Tesla, now I'm really wishing I would have just got out at 282 and just cut the small loss, because based on where I got in on Tesla, if I had just cut the losses quick, which I should have, and I knew I should have. I set my alert at 284 because if it had popped up again over 284, I was going to go ahead and sell. I missed it right at 284. I seen it right around here, around the 282.50 mark. This was right around actually when I got home from work this afternoon. And I was like, okay, it's looking decent. I was like, let me set an alert for, or maybe it's 283. My first alert was 284 that I set, and then I set another one at 2. I don't remember setting this alert actually. But 283, 284, I was like, okay, we can get back up to that. I'll go ahead and sell. Didn't. It hit a brick wall right around 282.50, and it got rejected from there. I was watching it on this SMA, and I was like, okay, maybe we'll bounce right around this SMA, and obviously that has not happened. So Tesla's just really done everything that we don't want it to today, like most losing trades do, right? So we'll kind of see what happens over the next 10 minutes or so and going into after hours and whatnot. Tesla's down 3% again on the day. I think that's about how much it was down yesterday as well. So we'll see what happens overall. I don't know what the market overall is doing right now. From S&P 500 still pretty much unched. The Dow Jones Spider ETF, it's about unched as well. Just an overall pretty boring day for the market. QQQ, like I said, the Nasdaq's pretty much the only one that's barely up on the day. It's up about 1/3%. So just a pretty lax day overall. I mean, SPY would not have been too fun to trade in the afternoon session. I mean, if you traded this thing early on this morning, those SPY options that we talk about day trading, again, you could have made a lot of money in a very short period of time. I know a couple of you guys did that today. And like I said, I don't know if any of you are tuning in from our Discord group chat, but if you did a trade on SPY, we would love to hear your results. I know a couple of us have been trading it. See, right now it's taking a little bit of a dip. Now might even be the perfect time. MACD's about to go red, possibly. About to go red unless if they save it right here and push it up. But if we get a red signal, watch it continue to drop, and then you might get a good short-term play right before the bell. So that'll be kind of interesting to watch. I'm actually going to set an alert just so we can watch it. I'll just set it below 55, and we'll see what happens. But let's see, Tesla still around -3. CRM, which is Salesforce, still around that brick wall, around 157.50 is going to be that ultimate brick wall. That one's been moving. It moved pretty volatile early this morning. I was shocked. I mean, it moved from north of 160 to as low as under 155 in a period of minutes. That was pretty surprised. So did Tesla. Tesla dropped quick down to 270 earlier this morning. I wasn't watching Tesla at all for a few hours this morning when I seen that, because I knew it was going to bounce back. Just how much exactly was the question. But I was pretty shocked to see that CRM dropped as quick as it did when the bell rang. So we're getting close to that last 5 minutes whenever the market really starts to get a little hectic. So let's go ahead and pull up the SPY options. I think I just had an alert set off for Salesforce, but that's all right. So let's take a look at those options. And I still have plenty of buying power available. So I mean, if worse comes to worse, I wouldn't even mind. I didn't know I had this much buying power available. So I mean, if I have to hold the, sorry, I was looking at my alert to see if it was for Salesforce. If I have to hold Tesla overnight, so be it. So we're going to be looking at, I don't want to look at, actually, yeah, we'll go ahead and do March 6th. Again, we're looking at the next closest expiration date. We go one slot out of the money. So let's take a look here. It's dropping. MACD just indicated selling. So we'll see what happens if we can trigger the 55. Not saying this is your buy. It's just this is when we wanted to really start to watch it. We want it to go at least at the minimum below 55 though before we even consider taking a position. I want to truly see it drop down to about 279.45 before you take a position. There we go. So it's dropping. We'll see if it can continue. Want to watch the MACD continue to show selling. We're at 51 now. And then watch the price of these options now. That option's down to 45. This is the option we're watching right now. It's down to $45, 44. There we go, 47. And then if you'd hopped in there, I would hop in right now, hop in this at 43 cents or 42, so be it. That would probably be where you ended up getting filled, was 42 cents. So you got filled at 42 cents. You might have wanted to wait a little longer. I bet you it tests that SMA now that I'm looking at it. It might test 279.35 possibly. I bet it does. I wasn't paying attention to my MACD either. If I paid attention to that, I wouldn't have said to hop in right then. Always pay attention. The MACD is probably, MACD and RSI are your key. Don't even focus on the candles as much when you're doing these options that we're talking about. Focus on your RSI and MACD on your 1 day, 1 minute chart. That's the critical thing with doing this trade setup. You're going to want to see the RSI just barely touch. Once it just barely touches oversold, that's when you're going to want to hop in. So we got about 4 minutes left. I don't like doing these at the end of the day. I generally like doing these in the morning. Again, we're just kind of doing it for an example purpose to show you how much money you can make literally possibly within 1 to 3 minutes of a trade. So RSI, we're still waiting on confirmation on the RSI. MACD, I bet we continue to sell over the next minute or so, probably going into 2 minutes remaining. RSI is still cooling off. Want to see the RSI hit 30. If RSI can hit 30, it's probably a good time to go ahead and hop in. Let's look at everything else. CRM is still around there. Tesla is still being Tesla, so not missing nothing. So our RSI is still at 35. Want to see it drop just a little bit more. SPY is down a little more. And I mean, we're so close. I wouldn't even mind if you hopped in right now. Just know that the trade could go against you. The MACD, I kind of like where the MACD is. I just love for the RSI to touch 30 personally. Once it touches 30, it's usually a bingo indicator. That's a good time to hop in. 29 to 30. Pretty much anything under 30, you got a good little short-term play. So we'll kind of watch it and see what happens. We're still around 33. They might just keep selling it. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. They're going to keep it from really doing anything going into that last minute. But say you went ahead and decided to hop in right here, which I wouldn't have, didn't get the confirmation. But say you went ahead and hopped in this one at 38 cents right now. Let's watch how much it moves over the next minute. This is going to be a quick 1 minute trade. Let's see how much it moves over this next minute. We're going to get out of it at right around 30 seconds depending on the price movement. So target sell would be right around 50 cents, 279.50. Volumes coming in. How much I bet they pin it right at unched on the day? That would be such a waste of a day. So more volume coming in. They're pulling it back. So see, that's why I would not have hopped in this trade. I didn't get my confirmation on my RSI. MACD wasn't too bad, but my RSI didn't hit 30. So I mean, see, that's where, again, if you stick to your rule, still got a minute. We'll see what happens. This is where it can go one way or the other, especially with our RSI and MACD on the minute chart. So see, continue to drop. RSI is about to hit 30. I would not be shocked if the RSI hits 30 here if we sell into the close. So let's see how much money you would have lost just because you didn't stick to your rule. What I say, bam. Right now would be the perfect time to hop in. Hop in right now. It's 31 cents, so you would have lost $7 per position right now. I would have hopped in. And now they're gonna start to pull it back up. And right now I would sell. So right there you would have only made probably looks like $2 per position. That actually wasn't a good trade. Like I said, I don't like doing it in the afternoon, but still you made $2 per position divided by 31 was your entry. That was a quick little 6% profit in a less than a minute trade. So that's still not bad, but like I said, that just goes to show exactly what I said. Wait for your confirmation and then hop in. Even though it was a very short-lived and you only made 6%, I mean, you made 6%, what was that, like 30 seconds? If you just hurried up and got in and out of that trade as good as possible. As quick as possible, not as good as possible. But, yeah, so overall, S&P, well, I don't know about S&P exactly. SPX ended down about 0.1% on the day. Looks like the Dow Jones ended down about 0.05%. Everything pretty much unched on the day. Even NASDAQ went red on the day. I don't know if QQQ did. It still shows it was up 10 the day, but NASDAQ overall was down 0.02%. Overall, very boring day. Looks like CRM also dropped. Awesome. Right at the bell. So yeah, we'll see what happens after hours, but I definitely do not suggest trading that last 10 minutes. I don't like trading the last 10 minutes of the day. It's just too crazy of movement. Like, you get the same amount of movement at the beginning of the day. Like, see how we had this drop off here? You get the same thing early on in the day, but you're not on a time constraint, where at the end of the day you had 1 minute to do that trade, where we had this drop off. Say you waited for your confirmation. I usually play this one. I never really catch the full dip. I usually play like one of these little dips. You hop in right here, get just enough confirmation to hop in. You ride it up about a dime to a quarter. About a quarter move ends up being about 10% profit, sometimes more on your options. Now, if you hopped in one like this, where you're like, okay, a little bit of support here, right around 278.65, and you just somehow caught this amazing candle. It was about a 30 to 40 cent move to the upside in 2 minutes. You probably made 20 to 30% profit on that move, on that daily option. So that'll be pretty fun to play again tomorrow, because you better believe I will definitely play that. Looks like SPY is moving down a little bit more after hours. Not a lot, but still moving down, testing 279. Under 279. Heavily oversold though, so it'll probably bounce here in just a couple seconds. But Yeah, I love trading SPY options, especially the short-term ones. You better be able to get in and out of your trade very quickly, though. So Tesla is back up to 277 after hours. CRM still hovering around 157. So for the day, overnight, obviously I traded Tesla and CRM, which is Salesforce. Overall on the day, we were down a little less than 1%. After hours, you add the two, 0.6%, just under $11. Well, I mean, just under $12 we were down on the day because Tesla, more than anything. CRM were up a little bit on that position, not enough really worth mentioning, about 2%. Not a horrible trade so far by any means. Being up 2% is good, obviously, in one day. I preach to you guys over and over. If you can make 2% on every single trade, I mean, that, or not every single, because you're going to have red trades, such as this Tesla one probably, unless if I hold it for a few days, which I might. Who knows? We're down 3% right now. I'm not selling it at down 3%. We're right in the target range right now where I actually believe Tesla might take a move to 290 over the next couple trading sessions. I keep forgetting it's only Tuesday. It feels like Wednesday or Thursday. But looking at our 180-day chart, Tesla's right around a pretty good support level right now. I thought personally, like I said, when I did this trade yesterday, I thought we were seriously going to bounce above 280, and that would be where Tesla would take another leg up to around 290 to 300. Which I would definitely have sold at 290 to 300. I was just planning on making a couple dollars today, in all honesty. Like, I wasn't planning on making some big money on a Tesla overnight trade or anything, or CRM for that matter. I did think I would make more on the CRM trade because it was an earnings play, and the fact that it bounced off that SMA line. I thought it'd be a better play than the Tesla, but I know that Tesla, every time I don't get in this thing around 280, I always end up kicking myself because I'm like, damn, next time I look at it, it's in the 300s, like 320 within a couple days. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy a couple shares of Tesla and see if I can ride this thing up. RSI is now oversold. I just like how the 180-day chart looks. Should have held out. I didn't know that, if hindsight's always 20/20, if I knew Tesla was going to be down 1 to 3% today, I would have held out and bought some today and held overnight, because more than likely this thing will probably be up tomorrow. What's the odds that it's going to be down for a fourth consecutive day? It's due for somewhat of a bounce back, but we'll see what happens overnight tonight and into tomorrow. So apparently Michael Bloomberg's not running for president, if anyone cares. I know I don't, but so hopefully our stream so far is doing alright. We haven't had any questions or anything. If you guys have any ticker symbols, now is definitely the time to shout those out. Like I said, today was a slow day overall. I wasn't even really planning on trading. Probably would have been better off just sticking to that. But yeah, we bought some Tesla last night. We bought some Salesforce overnight. We're up a little over 2% on Salesforce, down 3% on Tesla, thus being down a little bit on the day, but still have $1,000 worth of buying power, so we'll put that to work tomorrow on an SPY day trade. And I'll let you guys know how that goes. Those of you in Discord will know minute by minute when I get in and out of that trade, how it works exactly. But yeah, overall, I believe this is an amazing buy point on Tesla. 270s. If you caught this thing at 270, 275 earlier, man, that was an amazing buy point. Like I said, hindsight's always 20/20. If I knew Tesla was going to drop like this morning, I would have obviously held out and wait to buy until today. But now that it's in the 270s, I truly think that right now is probably a good time to buy. 180-day chart, like I said, tells it all. Oversold. MACD looks pretty good. Looks like selling should be getting ready to wear off here very soon. So I look for us to possibly test 290 to 300 by the end of the week. So, I mean, say you hopped in at this price point right around 277 and wrote it up to, let's just say 290, you'd make about 5%, 300, about 8%, a little over 8%. And if you ride it up to where it tends to always go, which is right around 315 to 320, you're talking probably 14 to 15%. In all honesty, probably within the next trading week, because that's just how volatile this thing tends to move. I mean, literally our 5-day chart, this thing was just in the 320s on the 28th. What day was that? Tuesday, Monday, Friday. So Thursday, it was in the 320s. And it's Tuesday, and it's all the way in the 270s. So I still think it's a good buying opportunity. I do wish that I held out whenever I bought, but it is what it is, right? You can't. Hindsight's always 20/20 at the end of the day. My CRM position, that is going to play out. Kicking myself for not getting filled thanks to Robinhood this morning at 160.50. But again, I probably should have just settled for 160 to 160.25. That still would have been a 4 to 4.5% return if I settled for 160. But I think it'll still be pretty bullish over the next couple trading sessions. So have my alert set for 156 because I really don't want to see it retest that. If it does, we might sell while we're still up. But I don't think it's going to retest 156 overnight tonight. I think we're probably going to see the markets overall up tomorrow, in all honesty. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Today was a pretty crazy day overall for the markets, up and down like a yo-yo. I almost, actually, speaking of like just buying stocks that I bought overnight last night, I almost took my account and just played it safe and hopped into Amazon. And well, Amazon actually ended up down slightly today as well. But I mean, I probably would have went ahead and sold around 1,700. I was looking at it obviously yesterday afternoon. It was hovering right around like 1,695. So I mean, even if I had bought it and then sold it somewhere around 17, I still would have made a few bucks. It would have been a safe trade. Where Tesla, like I said, the hindsight is always 20/20 though. We were talking about Netflix in our Discord group chat as well. That's another one I almost traded overnight. Another one that I probably wish I did instead of trading Tesla. But like I said, it is what it is. Not every trade can be a winner. See where SPY is after hours. So SPY is already back above 279. 1 minute chart, like I said, it was heavily oversold. It was going to bounce back a little bit. It'll be interesting. Let me look at our 1 hour chart. 1 hour chart, we're hovering right around that SMA. It's kind of messy. Hovering right around the SMA. Yeah. I think tomorrow we probably go up, not a god awful lot, but somewhere around 279.50 is where I'm betting we end the day tomorrow on SPY. If we go with what's been going on the last week or so, where the market's just had these pretty slow moves by the end of the day, up or down 0.2%. What was our most volatile day? Yesterday, I believe. Yeah, yesterday was our most volatile day of the last 5 trading sessions. You can see we've been just very, very modest moves with the exception of yesterday. So that'll be pretty interesting to see how that plays out tomorrow. I mean, even over the last 20 days, our 20-day chart, or 10-day to keep it kind of smooth, you can see, I mean, we had a little bit of volatility. You can just count the days. 1 day, 2 day. If you want to count, I won't even count this because we're talking end of the day. 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. So 3 out of the last 10 days, we've had a little bit of volatility. With obviously Monday being our biggest day for volatility. So overall, I'm a little bullish for tomorrow. Before the next week, I'm slightly bearish. I'll mention again why. When we look at our 180-day chart, we can see, or not 180-day, which chart was it? Was it the 1 year? Yeah, our 1 year chart, we can see it looks like we're starting to roll over. We're hitting that resistance over and over around 280, which is about 2,800 on the S&P 500. We're due to pull back on the S&P to about, or SPY specifically, to about the low to mid 270s, 273 to 275 range. We're not talking a huge move to the downside, just a few percentage points, but I see that happening over the next trading week. Maybe even possibly by the end of this week. Like I said, I keep thinking for some reason it's like Thursday, but it's only Tuesday. So, I mean, this could happen by the end of the week. But overall, as for tomorrow, I'm slightly bullish. I think we're probably going to retest like 279.50 for our end of the day. But we'll see. We might even retest 280 one more time before really getting the hammer and getting rejected down to those mid 270s, because that's how the market tends to work. It fakes us out, makes us think we're bullish, and then bam, kind of like Monday, we thought we were going bullish, and bam, we got the hammer and smacked down to 276. Now you might be thinking, well, you said around 275, how is this not good enough of a pullback? Because 276, 277 isn't enough of a pullback in my opinion. I think we need to test right around 274. Flat 274 at the minimum. Some are even calling for a retest of 270, 269. I don't know necessarily about that. I think right around 273 to 274, we retest that, we hang around there for a day or two. Then I think we start to move to the upside. But our 1 year, 1 day, the 1 day specifically chart starts to show that selling should be starting to pick up here over the next couple days. So that'll be pretty interesting to see what happens overall. But as for tomorrow, I'm slightly bullish. 279.50 is probably where I think they're going to pin it, but we'll kind of see what happens with that. And I will definitely be letting you guys know in the Discord group chat what I'm playing, which is probably going to be another SPY call, because I pretty much just play these little dips. Like I said, I mean, you catch these dips, you can make 10 to 20, even 30% profit in a very, very short amount of time. So you do that with $1,000 or $900 or $500, you can make some pretty decent money very quick. I mean, 20%, I wouldn't say you're going to hit 20% on most of these trades, but even 10% on a $500 account, that's a $50 return. $1,000 account, 10% would be what? $100 return. So, I mean, very good returns in a very short amount of time for sure. So, but if we don't have any questions, I guess I'll probably go ahead and start wrapping the stream up. We got 5 of you tuning in. Hopefully you guys had a decent day trading in this very crazy sideways market today. Like I said, overall we pretty much ended down around 12 bucks, mostly due to Tesla. We're up on CRM, again a little over 2% currently. Tesla, we're down about 3%. You can see my exact percentages, down a little over 3%. And then on Salesforce, we're up about, like I said, right around 2.25%. So planning on holding these probably at least overnight. And definitely want to get out of these by the end of the week for sure. I wanted to get out of both of them today, but obviously nothing ever really goes 100% as planned. I was going to get out of this morning, but for the 100th time, Robinhood did not fill me at $160.50 this morning. So that kind of was a kick to the stomach, but we'll hold it overnight and kind of just see what happens. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy the stream. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully you guys stayed green today. If you like the stream, definitely make sure to smash that like button. I greatly appreciate that. And like I said, if you're new to the channel, we'd love to have you here. Definitely consider hitting the subscribe button below and checking out our Discord group chat. There's a little over 60, right around 65 of us in there. That's down in the description box. If you don't know what Discord is, it's an app you can get for any smartphone. Super easy to sign up. I think you can even sign up through Facebook maybe. I don't know for sure. But super easy to sign up, literally a couple minutes. And that's the easiest way to get in contact with me as well. And then all my social media and whatnot is in the description box as well if you're interested in that. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there, making your profits, covering your profits, and achieving your financial freedom in 2019 and beyond. And I will see you guys probably tomorrow for another live stream, and I'll let you guys know what happens with these trades as well as if I trade any SPY options. But until then, take it easy, guys.